Okay, we're going to be doing a little bit of a painting session here. So clean up all of the paints that have decided to try to take over my work area. And as soon as we get them put away, we will be able to get started. Okay, so yesterday we were working on our gallowglass guy, and we're going to finish up this other guy today. Hopefully, that's what the intent is. So I pour myself a motivational beverage. Also known as Coke. It's almost 7 o'clock, which is kind of early. Might actually be a couple hours earlier than I was able to get on yesterday. So, we should be able to go for a little bit here. Turn the fan up a little bit. Gotta have the air circulation. Okay. Put my water cup on this side. And let's get started. Okay. Hey Joe, how you doing? What is tonight's plan? Well, we're going to finish this other gallowglass guy up. So I'm 3 guys down. So that's a quarter of them complete. Finish this guy, and then we'll be a third of the way done. So we still have all these other clowns over here to do. But some of them will probably go a little quicker than others. Some of them that are covered completely in mail. We'll jump into those guys next. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Or actually, in this case, continue. And this brush is going to start getting retired. Now, this is what I was using for almost all the painting on these figures. And it already has like one little hair that wants to kind of go his own way. So we may not be able to use him for much longer as a detailed painting brush. We'll always can use him for terrain or something like that. So no big deal. We got plenty of spares. I'm not going to be running out anytime soon. So all right, so we're going to roll into. We did the leggings on him last time, and we got to do his shoes. We got to do his bearded axe. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do since we have this stuff alive. Let's do his the pommel on his sword and the handguard in the bronze color. I think I'm going to kind of keep that consistent to all these figures to have those two items in the bronze color. So. And we're just plugging around along with these guys. No sign of the mounted. Like I mentioned yesterday, I'm not really in a hurry for them, but I just kind of like to know what stage they're in. I placed an order last. When this Monday rolls around, they've had my order for 3 weeks, and I haven't heard any sign of it. I'm not concerned from the standpoint of I think they're going to keep the money or anything. It's kind of unusual. They told me they were running behind, and then they said the parcels are taking 2 to 8 weeks to arrive. I said, okay, well, that's the postal service. There's nothing you could do about that. But I would have been. I'm surprised that it hasn't been mailed out yet. And they did say I was going to get notification when I did. But regardless, I just want to do an unboxing on them. That's it. It's not that I need them right now. I want to do an unboxing on them. So Sounds like they were kind of running a one-person operation with all the stuff going out around. So um, maybe they're working on a big order and it's one guy doing it. That's probably what it's behind. But my order is not huge. It's six packs. So um, we'll do an unboxing on those guys if we get them. We got lots of different things to work on if that isn't the case. So okay. Um, all right. So we've done the sword part so far. Do we have any of this steel color left from this morning that may have stayed alive on the paint palette? I didn't think there would be. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and do the buckle. We're going to go ahead and do the helmet, and we're going to go ahead and do the axe head, okay? Because we're not going to be able to finish this guy completely because I have to. I've been doing a Nuln oil wash on the, well, not a wash, but just to brush over the metal parts of the axe to give it a little oomph. So we'll have to tinker with that when that dries. And my painting pretty much dries immediately, but not if you're doing something like that. So, okay, Citadel base lead belcher. All right, well, let's get some of this stuff. Put it back here in silver corner. All right, close her back up. Yeah, there's my first painting pot. I'm already being encroached. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing unboxing videos. Those are fun to do. I like doing videos, and any video that's like 10 minutes and shorter are a lot of fun to do because they get processed really fast. You don't have to wait 10 hours to see it pop up on the internet. So those unboxing videos are short and sweet. So all right, so there's the axe head that's painted. We're going to go ahead and paint his helmet as well. Color that I used for the dry brushing on his chainmail. So if I come in here and then notice, like on the side of his chainmail, get the proper treatment to it, I can come in and just lightly dry brush a little bit. Okay. And again, this is a guy that's got the big old whiskers. He looks like a land walrus here. Okay. Oh yeah, and the buckle. They put a buckle on him, so I gotta paint it. Okay. So that part's done. Shaft of the axe. And we're about done with this thing. Let's see who our next candidate is for paintbrush here. This one might be fine. Let's use this one. Again, this one's pretty big. This is a one round, but it's the tip that's important, not the bristle length. As a matter of fact, the longer the bristle, the more I like them. So, yeah. So let's mix up some paint for the shaft, and don't mind the shafts being slightly different. Let's use this one. Actually, you know what? This is really close to. Yeah, should be fine. And we'll darken it with. Let's see, his uniform's darkened with brown, so we'll darken the shaft with black. That way it'll look a little different. And this is tan yellow, Viejo 122. Yep. And add some black to it. Okay. We have lots of different things to work on. You don't have to worry about that mounted. The mounted I'm talking about, by the way, is the light horse options for this army. They have a light horse general, another couple of light horse elements to paint up. So I think they can have 3. And this, of course, is book 458, Medieval Irish. For that silly game called DBA. You guys may have heard of that. That silly game we play. The other night, the game that we filmed, we were only going to have 3 players, so I figured, okay, well, I'll film it. Since that's not too chaotic, we could do 4 games and everybody gets to play everybody. But we ended up having more people show up, and it actually worked out okay. And it emboldened me to probably film every day we get together. You just won't see all the matchups. You can't really run it like a tournament, and that everybody plays everybody. Because I can't film more than one thing going on at one time. It just would get too confusing. But it kind of emboldened me to go ahead and try filming every time we go, because interesting things happen in the games. Situations may happen that you guys could benefit from. Or we can look back and see it. I do rewatch videos. I've rewatched some of my older videos and been like, oh, I don't remember that happening. So they're fun to go back and look, at least from my perspective. And maybe you might encounter some situation that you were wondering how it would be handled. So anyhow, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. There wasn't a whole lot left to do on this guy. And then we can roll into the next batch. I'm gonna do the easier guys to paint. The guys they're wearing that part's already done. I did all the dry brushing first on all 12 of the figures. Okay. That's about done. And let's add a little bit of white on there. Do you have any white that's alive? No. White's drying up on it faster than normal, but that's okay. Let's take a little bit of that white with this color and do some highlighting on the shaft. X. The other guy had gray shoes, so we're going to give this guy brown shoes. And that's what we're going to do next. Could do some lighter colored shoes, make them pop a little bit. Let's see. I know what color I want to use. I just need to find it. Cote d'Arms khaki. I'm going to use this color. Now these two guys that are the same pose, they're not going to be on the same stand for sure. There's 12 figures on 3 stands, 4 figures on a stand of them. So no two similar figures will, no two alike figures will be on the same stand. There's no need to do that. So, although the way this guy's axe is overhanging the footprint of the figure, we're going to have to be creative in how we put them. We might have to put them towards the back or going out and outside the confines of the stand too much, or just little things to consider so that you don't end up and your figures don't line up well. All right, so we're just going to paint all of these little shoes. Yeah, let's add more with this core color. And we don't need to keep going brighter. We're good here. And just lighten this up a little bit for the highlighting part. Okay, this guy's done, other than the Nuln Oil, which we're going to go ahead and apply now. Okay. So, let's close this down. All right. Mr. Nuln Oil. And I don't thin this down at all. I use it straight from the thing. Watching a bit before breakfast, a bit of buffering is going on. That's because you're halfway across the world. You're halfway across the world and upside down, right? Okay, so we're just going to put some of this Nuln Oil off of it. We don't want it super rich because we don't want it to run every which way. So we're just going to gently put some over the metal parts of the axe. It's just basically giving it a little bit of shadow, some added depth to the color. And we'll end up probably in the morning and end up painting over this. So we have some extra shades. So he's pretty much done. All right. So we're going to put him Let's go ahead and put him over with the completed ones. And who knows, maybe just before I go to bed, I might be able to do the finishing touches on him. So, okay. All right. As promised, I said we were going to do the guys that were mailed. Okay, it's this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Okay, just a pretty much a standard figure. They got some hose. They have some hose. They have a helmet on. Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot to paint the whiskers on this dude. Oh, how painting, you know. All right, so what do we got? We got a blonde guy. We got a brown guy. We got a red-haired one. Let's do another. Let's do another blonde one. Yes, and your blood is rushing to your head. Yeah, yeah, and you're covered in penguins. I should say you can hear the penguins squawking from where you're at, right? It's right there. It's only that far on the globe. It's really close. Let's get rid of this thing. It's distracting me. Big old paint poop thing. Okay, so let's paint his whiskers. So we have some brown. Do I have some brown? Yeah, we got some brown here. So let's go ahead and let's get a finer brush so we don't want to cover over. We don't want to accidentally paint something on the face and have to fix it. I could certainly fix it, but I'd rather move forward instead of getting sidetracked into other little things. So let's find us a brown like this. You guys are just going to have to wait a little bit. We're almost done with this guy. He almost went into battle with no mustache. That's a no-no for these guys. Hey, the reality is it's sculpted on there. I got to paint it. You know, if you end up sculpting bug eyes, I got to paint the bug eyes. I don't really have a choice. You know, they kind of did it to me. You know, so let's do a couple things. Let's get Mr. Yellow out. And let's get this brown here. So I'm not going to use straight brown. We're going to add some yellow to it. And this is War Painter Phoenix Flames. I picked up some War Painter paints at one of our shows last year just to try them, to get a couple different colors. This is a beautiful yellow, but I think they're kind of watery. Not watery, they have a lot of the acrylic base in them. Much more than Vallejo does. So, but that's not really me knocking them. They're just different. I'm glad I got them, but I just need to be armed with that knowledge that that's kind of what they do. So, okay. So let's go ahead and paint his whiskers. Okay. All right, let's add more yellow to it. Let's add a little more. We can probably just use it straight now. Okay. And then we got a tiny little bit of white. You can brighten this up a little bit. I don't want to use a similar color to any of the clothing on the figure if I'm going to do his hair, because if it's really close, it'll look like it's the same color, and I was lazy and I just didn't want to mix it to something else. So I want to kind of avoid that just for my own sake. So this guy's completely done now. other than the known oil that we did to them. Now keep in mind the metal on it is not going to look like that. So he looks good. Don't take that camera's word for it. So there's those four guys. Now we can go back to the thing that I said I was going to do. That's these clowns right here. Okay. Greg's, it's too close to the chainmail type color, and he could have a gray mustache, but with this much chainmail near his face, it's good. It would just end up getting lost. Like I didn't even paint it, you know. Okay. More commentary. Let's see here. John Tailby. I can't tell if that's an I. This is very useful. I have some war games, Atlantic Irish, to make into a saga warband. So painting inspiration for Irish is useful. Oh, well, I am so happy to hear you say that. I'm doing this for me, and I figured, if anybody can benefit from it, more power to them, Absolutely. I never got into saga because I just never got into saga. I have a friend of mine who wanted to do saga in 15s. I don't know how serious he was, but hell, you could just base them like this. Just base them on U.S. pennies. Obviously, I'd make them magnetized so you could carry them around. They wouldn't bump into each other. But that seems like the core of the game is the management of those special dice, and of course, the special dice are what really attracted me to it. I'm not a 28 millimeter painter. I'm leery of doing anything that takes even longer for me to paint them. But it seemed like the kind of game that we would enjoy, because it's kind of my figures against your figures kind of stuff. So never got into it. And then there's like a 2.0 version. So again, I understand a lot of people got upset because they had to rebuy a bunch of rule sets, and I can't get into that codex mentality. If I did saga, without a doubt, who I'd want to play is my Spanish. Oh, got to do that. Oh, and the Moors too. Those are really, really pretty armies. Not much of a Dark Age fan. I'm not a fan of this stuff that I'm painting, which is why I'm painting it, actually. True story. Yeah, I don't have any of these Dark Ages in England armies, Anglo-Saxons or pre-feudal Scots or anything like that. So we're going to make a change to that, because I'm really hooked on making these boring dressed characters, boring from the standpoint of colors that they had access to, and make them look more exciting. Just by doing little blends of colors and stuff like that. I did that with my my Arab army and loved every minute of it. And I'm going to continue doing that. There's not going to be that many colorful guys. Like, I wouldn't call any of these guys colorful. They're drab, okay? And that's the intent of them, is to be drab. You can't make every army colorful. So pretty much everybody in this army is going to be drab, with the exception of the Knight element. The Scots pikemen are going to be a little bit less drab, but still drabbish, because they're commoners. I mean, color costs money. So the nightstand will be colorful, because they're high society guys, and but that's only one stand of them. My Irish warlord, which will be a light horse general, he will. I don't know how much we're going to fancy him up. I'm still waiting for him to come in. So, but we got a little pooch for him. We got a little Irish wolfhound that's going to be running with him, because I didn't want the general stand to just have two guys on it. So my intent is that we're going to have the warlord with a little pooch running with him, Irish wolfhound, of course, and another guy that's going to run with him, and we're going to do a flag bearer as well. So unfortunately, I also have figures to do pre-feudal Scots. I don't know if I'm going to roll right into the pre-feudal Scots afterwards, we'll take a little bit of a break. But I try not to plan too far ahead what my next army is going to be, because I don't want to hold myself down. Um, by the time I'm done spending a couple hundred hours on this army, I may want to do something completely different. I might want to go back to China. So is there's not a whole lot of information on a whole lot. There's no information on different banners that the warlords have. Now there's Little Big Man Studios makes a set in 15 millimeter for all the Dark Age stuff, and I could figure out what it is, but I based on the other sets, because they have them in 28s, like just for Irish and Scots and all that kind of stuff, and then in 15s they have one that like includes all the stuff. So like the Welsh, the Scots, and the Irish are all in on one flag sheet, but their flag sheets are really weird to use. I don't dislike their product. It's just I've been doing this for like 35 years, painting stuff, and it's really weird when I come across a product that it's almost like I have to start over again. So it's not that they haven't turned out well. It's just I'm like really cautious, and it takes a long time. Like I've got the Russian Knights back here that have Little Big Man Studios decals, but they're not transfer. They're like a dry rub type thing, and they turn out okay. You treatment, they're totally flat. But when I first put them on, I was like, holy crap, these aren't going to turn out well because they're shiny. But it's a good product. It's just really kind of you have to think outside the box to use them. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with them now, but anyhow, there's some other people that have flags also that sell them online. So I've got to pick a banner that I'm going to use as my Irish warlord. So the Edward the Bruce, when he did his invasion in 1315. So my general stand is going to be Edward the Bruce and a couple of knights that came over with him on that mission. I'm not going to have a flag on that stand because I don't want to use a Scottish flag. It's still an Irish army, and I don't mind the general being someone else, but I don't want to turn into a Scottish looking army all of a sudden. So I'm just going to not put a flag there. It'll be pretty obvious who the general is, because hell, he's the one who freaking mounted, and all the armor and stuff. So, but anyhow, that's my thinking. I kind of think all that stuff out so that I kind of do some planning. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the Irish Warlords flag, which one I'm going to go with. I read about one Irish warlord, and I don't remember who it is, and God forbid I try to pronounce it, because, I know two languages, and it doesn't help speaking Gaelic at all. But this particular Scottish warlord, and I forgot, I read it in one of the books or something like that, but it said that he had like a dragon banner. He had a dragon emblem with like a tree also. So I've seen a lot of tree looking banners, so I may end up doing something like that and just use one of them. So anyhow, so much for that ramble. But I do enjoy doing flags and all that kind of stuff. So, but I tend to leave those guys from. Okay, so John Telby said, Saga do have an Age of Crusades for Saga, so you could do knights charging around the table. Yeah, I just don't have anybody in my group that plays Saga, and like I've mentioned in other games, I don't mind playing other rules. I just don't have the energy and time that I want to devote to taking point on a set of rules. The closest couple games of Lion Rampant, which you could probably run using these figures and even mounted this way, like DBX style basing and just mark casualties. That's a pretty decent game. Yeah, I think that we would enjoy Saga, but I just don't want to take point on the rules, And I don't want to paint 28s. I don't want to paint 28s. It just take way too long. So the thing about doing it in 15s, it would be cool. Then you can play on a small board. but I have to supply the stuff for both sides. And my day of doing those things are over. I had the last convention I put things out on. I supplied all the figures, and then I was stressed out thinking somebody was going to mishandle them and break them, and I had one incident. Um, so I don't really want to have to chaperone everybody because normally if you paint and you take care of your figures, you know how to handle figures. But some people just come off the street and go, "Hey, what's that?" They're ham-fisted. I believe is what the term is. If you watch any of my videos, yeah, it's stressful sometimes when you play, but it's just a game. We have fun. Well, at least I have fun. I don't care whether I win or lose. I obviously want to win, but for me, it's gaming is a stress reliever, not a stress inducer. So now in here somewhere, I noticed there's a couple of spots that I missed. So I'm just going to come back here and paint those before we get started on these dudes here. Yeah, here it is right here. I didn't paint this in black, so no biggie. I'm going to come in here and take care of that. And normally I do not paint prime with Vallejo paints. They're too expensive to prime with them. I just usually use like a Model Master Acryl, or I'll spray paint them in black and then come in with the enamel version of Model Master Black. Yeah, these I believe were done in Acryl. So, okay, so if we start one of these guys, what are we looking at? We got a face, okay? We've got a face. We've got an axe shaft. We got hose, or maybe he's bare-legged. I'm not sure which one of the two he is. I know some of these guys fought bare-legged, and it would be kind of cool to make some of them be bare-legged. I mean, they still have shoes on. That's how you know they're professional. These Irish guys are wearing shoes. It's kind of uncommon for most of the figures, but all the gallowglass guys do have shoes. So yeah, these guys definitely look like their legs were thicker, almost like they had hose on. This guy, this guy has the boots with the tops of them turned down, almost like musketeers kind of stuff. Okay, so we're gonna pick two guys. Okay, let's pick the two guys that are in the same pose, and we're gonna paint them first. We're gonna put these two guys off to the side. All right. So what are we gonna do first? Let's go ahead and paint the flesh, and we are gonna make these guys bare-legged. Okay, so just for variety, and we're gonna start off with making our Caucasian face mix. And I'll go ahead and describe. Let me look one more thing. John Telby says you put a lot of effort in painting your 15mm figures. I can see why you don't want to scale that up to 28mm. Yeah, I could spend 8 hours on a figure. So yeah, that would be extreme. And now there's a lot of variety in 28mm figures. They didn't used to be. When I started, and of course I'm only talking about historicals because I couldn't care less about fantasy. For me, it's about learning about history and then partaking in it and seeing if you can change it. So the fantasy stuff never appealed to me. Never got into I never really did Warhammer or anything. I had way back when I was in my late teens, I picked up a copy of Warhammer 40K. You know, the one that came in a thick book that's really nice. The book that when you open it a few times, the pages come out. You know, we're talking like this is probably 1988, 87, 88, 89, something like that. Maybe even 90. Again, there was nobody to play it. I ended up painting some 28mm Imperial Guard. I believe I painted 10 of the figures. And I thought I did a pretty head turnaround in circles. But at the time, but I never got a chance to play the game. I never could figure out what the weapon skill and all those things are. Again, I don't mind playing complicated things, but I kind of have to play the game before I can process the rules. That's just kind of how I've always been. So that I have like a frame of reference for it. And with the Warhammer, I never did. I never got a chance to play the game. So I don't think I would have liked it. Because it seems like it's kind of like BattleTech. I played BattleTech quite a bit. Which what I'm talking about is you have something that's way far in the future. So, technically better technology, right? But they don't fire very far. So, it's, very compressed in that direction. But anyhow, that's just me. Yeah, John says, I got started playing 15 millimeter historical, WRG ancient, and Renaissance. Renaissance. That's what I like. I love the 1500 stuff. But right now I'm focusing on doing the videos and getting this stuff, some of these guys completed. Okay, so let's do the face. So we're gonna have this is Vallejo red leather, and we're gonna put some black in with it. And why is this teeter-tottering? What's going on here? Okay, gonna mix this in with it. No, I paint all the time, so when something's behaving differently, I'm like, what's the meaning of this? Okay, this dark brownish mix, we're going to paint everything that's fleshy on them in this color. Okay, so that means we're going to paint this hand over here. We're going to paint his face, which, lo and behold, this guy also has a big old mustache. The Mustached Army. Okay, what about his other arm? His other arm is just kind of relaxed over here. So we're going to paint that up as well. And his legs, because I have seen pictures of these guys with barren legs. As a matter of fact, some were even called red shanks because, they were red haired and had hairy red legs, and that's probably why, they had that nickname. So I'm going to paint that up as well. That way we'll have a mixture of figures that have hose on, and then a mixture of figures that also are bare-legged. Okay, so. And if I finish him and I don't like how he looks, I can just repaint his hose and paint thin. So I'm not really covering up any detail. So if I do have to go back and repaint something, it's not like it's going to be thick and gloppy. Okay, so he's done. Let's do the same treatment with this one. Yeah, I know, I'm going to assembly line, right? Assembly line for me means painting two guys at once. Well, it's the same pose, so we're going to make them slightly different. Obviously, their coat of mail will be the same. But, yeah, this one is no longer behaving. I can't use this guy reliably anymore for doing something like this. So we're going to retire you. There you go. We will use you for terrain and such. So I buy these in packs of 10, and they're under $4. So you're talking about 40 cents for a brush. I don't mind saying goodbye to it. And I also tried to really clean one time. It's not worth 40 minutes of my time scrubbing it. I'd rather be doing something else, so it's not like they're not going to get used. They're just not going to get used for this detail kind of thing. So I still need brushes that aren't the best to paint like the terrain on the base and to get around the feet and stuff like that. They're going to be rubbing against my basing material, and they're going to get scuffed up in less than perfect shape. So you want to use brushes like that for that purpose. So it has lots of life left to give me. It's just not going to be in this type of a purpose. So, okay. And let's get back into this guy. And we're going to paint this guy as well. Same thing, all these flesh parts. All the fleshy parts. So yeah, my goal with this army, well, my goal, I don't know why. I just figured that just seemed appropriate. So then it was just a matter of which Irish army to do. Okay, so the boys already have Scots Irish, so there was no point in building that one. There's no point in building an army someone already has that you play with frequently, unless it's an army that you're dying to do. When that's not really the case, I was just looking for an Irish army to do. Norse Irish, I had the figures for that, but there just isn't a whole lot of variety, and they're very Viking looking, and they just don't say, they don't say Eringobrach to me, So I decided to do the medieval Irish because, probably because we played that Saloy silliness and the Wimp Wars and stuff, and this is a very capable army to participate in those games because they have a mandatory 6 Saloy. 6 skirmishers, so half the army is kind of has to be skirmishers. So there we go. That was the reason to build them. And I only know one person that's ever painted this army before. So they're kind of obscure. They're not obscure. Let's just say they're off the beaten path. But they have a lot of cool things. I can use them for. They have a lot of skirmishers. They have a lot of light troops. They have allies. I can use them to bump them up, to beef them up, like for an open tournament or something like that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to them. They're a lot. You can play them lots of different ways. So yeah, looking forward to these folks. But I think I'll be able to meet the St. Patrick's Day cutoff this time, for sure. Because that's a ways away, and I've been on a roll lately. So that's a good thing. Okay. Yeah, the Norse Irish also have um, have allies, but I believe the allies they have are Vikings. So it's just more heavy foot. They may be able to have like one mounted element, but it's definitely not a whole lot of different things there now. So yeah, I just kind of decided to do these guys. So okay, so he's completely done. Also, let's do some maintenance here. And okay, nothing new. Let's jump into the next color, which is we're just going to get that over with. It's not as horrible as you guys may think it is to do. You just need to get a brush that can behave. And we're going to come in and throw some white out here. And then we're going to come in and we need a little bit more than that. Jeez. And we need to paint in that little oval. And do the same thing on this one. There's so little paint that it dries out really fast on the brush. Just kind of have to give the impression that there's an eye there. You don't have to go in there. It's drying like immediately. Come on, you can do it. One more eyeball. Okay, so we just have 4 little dots here. And then what we're going to do is with this same brush, we're going to do the same thing with black, and we're going to put a vertical line through the middle of it. I'm not going to try to dot. You want a vertical line through it at this scale. And you can paint your figures however the hell you want. That's your business, you know? But I don't know about you, but the hard person to please is the guy that's doing the painting. I need to be happy with the achievement that it has, that it is. So we're just putting a very little fine line right through the center of it. And then we'll do the same over here. Sculptor is going to give them bug eyes. I kind of have to. This isn't. Okay, perfect. Okay. There we go. Now we can go, and I don't want to do that later in the process because if I end up pulling that line down, I don't want to go into like the flesh of the face and stuff like that. So it's good to just have that original base color in, and then add things on top of that. Let me do some maintenance here. Okay, that's nothing, and that is nothing. Okay. All right, let's make sure that's on. Okay. Same color, which of course dried out now, but that's okay. And take a sip of some motivational beverage, also known as caffeinated. I guess there's some people that drink alcohol while they drink, while they drink, of course, while they paint. But I'm certainly not one of them. I would lose total interest in it completely. And I don't really drink that much. All the beer clanging against the drinkers while they game. I grew up. I started gaming under 21, so gaming and alcohol really weren't two things I did together. Especially because I was doing things that were complicated and involved like range estimation and stuff like that. So like I like to say, I don't need to drink when I'm playing my hobby. Then everything else is just fine. I don't need to drink while playing games. They're if you need to, then you're doing it wrong. You're playing too stressful a game. No, honestly, this is the evening. It just put me to sleep. So unless you guys want to listen to snoring. Okay, so we're just going to paint the things that protrude on his face and such. And there's really nothing to these guys. It's not like they have any heraldry or anything like that. These guys are just mercenaries. They're what's the Game of Thrones term? Sellsword. Yeah, they're just mercenaries for hire. These guys. I think I'm gonna. We've done the eyes and stuff on this guy. We're gonna finish this one figure all the way through. See, that's as much as I could hack it. I couldn't do it anymore. I want to finish and see what this guy ends up looking like. So let's. Do we still have our sunny skin tone over here? I think it dried out a little bit. So let's. It's been a couple days since I used it. Surprised we didn't have a thunderstorm today. It's been raining fiercely every day for the last month, probably. All right. Actually, don't mind the rain, but the thunderstorms can have those. Not interested. We're going to mix a little bit of the sunny skin tone and some people like to do faces. I actually like them. It brings these little folks to life. A little bit more water, improve the flow. And as you go up in layers on the flesh, that's when every layer you put on makes these guys look more alive and more like a human for that matter. So, we're going to have to take a little bit of a restroom break. I'll be right back and hopefully 2 minutes flat. Okay. Back in a jiff. All right. So where were we? All right. This guy here. Let's add another layer on top. Okay. So you got this here. Let's add a little bit more of a sunny skin tone to it. I think that might be a little too drastic. Let's go back a little bit. Let's dial that down. So that means this guy's not going to have any clothing at all. I mean, he's got, what I mean by that is he's armored. He's got these like wrist guards that go up to like his elbows are also armored. He's got barren legs, so they're flesh colored. This guy's basically going to be flesh and metal. That's okay. A little different. They're going to be all mixed in with the other figures, so they'll look fine. It's not like we're going to have all these armored dudes completely that look like this all in one stand. They're going to be interspersed, so it'll give it a decent look. And they should look pretty good on the stand because they're going to be all lumped together. Because I divide by 15 deep. I don't do the 20 millimeter deep ones. I like my heavy infantry to be on the 15s. Tighter formation. I just like how it looks. So, and it's consistent with my earlier armies that were painted for other versions of DBA when that wasn't really an option. So. So these are considered solid blades, so they will be on a 40 by 15 stand, 4 figures on each stand, and 3 stands of these guys. Okay. Now we're going to go back to adding more of this sunny skin tone, and then we'll start adding a little bit of white in there for the highlighting. This detail work's pretty easy to do as long as you've got brushes you can trust in and the surface doesn't move on you. I know, and I've seen a lot of people that like paint in midair, and I don't know how the hell they even do that. I've got, rested on a table that doesn't move, and I've got, I'm braced, so we shouldn't have any mishaps. Okay. And then as promised, we're going to take some of the white here and we're going to add it to here. And that's going to be our highlight there for the flesh. All right. This up a little bit on the front here. So all his fleshy parts are done. And yeah, so that part's complete. We've got a helmet to do. We got whiskers. And of course we got the belt and the sword scabbard and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and do the helmet now. That's pretty much straightforward. Okay, we're gonna go grab our lead belcher again. Yeah, this is the 5th and 6th figure. So when these two guys are done, half of these blade guys are done. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's paint this helmet. Oh, and the arm guards too. Now the arm guards, they almost look really similar to you know what? Let's see if we can come across something. Let's go grab one of my references and see if one of them talks about what material they are. If not, we're going to end up doing them like they're iron. Okay, so we're going to pull up. These guys are gallowglass. So if they're going to be in any of the books, it's going to be Armies of the Middle Ages. And these books are excellent, especially for myself when I started kind of getting into this period. I picked up all the books because even though they're black and white drawings, they're really cool. So Armies of the Middle Ages Volume 1. I believe this covers Ireland. So let's go and find out in the index here what it has here on the, let's go ahead and close this up. As I find something, I'm going to show you guys. I don't want to get paint on this book. Let's not have to rebuy this book, please. Okay, let's go to, certainly there's a gallowglass guy in here, because that's what the thing is. All the Essex figures are based on the illustrations that are in these type of books. So you're going to more than likely find a pose that is very similar to that which I am painting in the book here. So all we got to do is get to the Irish section here. Let's see here. Okay, here's a guy. Perfect example. This is going to be story time with Tony. Let's move this as well. This is the figure that we're talking about. Okay? And he is figure 31. And it says gallowglass, 14th through 15th centuries. Equipment of the gallowglass under Turlo O'Donnell, King of Tyrconnell, 1380 to 1422. Okay. The gallowglass actually is depicted here in coton and corselet and wearing a helmet very similar to McMurrough's, is taken from the Burke effigy at Glinsk in County Galway and probably dates from the late 14th century. His clean-shaven appearance confirms his non-native origin. It doesn't say anything about. It doesn't say anything about his. The metal things there on his. Almost like his bracers. Well, we're gonna make them iron. Yeah, we're gonna make them iron. Yeah, all these poses are all like things you would see from the Essex figures. So these books are excellent. So they have the Armies of Middle Ages Volume 1. They have a Volume 2, which comes with Hussites and Muscovites and Ottoman Turks are in there, that kind of stuff. And of course, that's only like 1300s through like the 1500s. So the earlier one, you've got a feudal Europe one, and then they got the Roman period one. So they're excellent books. And some of them were out of print for a long time, but I understand that they're all back in print through War Games Research Group, and they may be selling them through Lulu as print on demand. So the good thing about print on demand is you can get them pretty quick, and so instead of paying $38 or $40 for a book, it might be $18, $19. So anyhow, so we're gonna go ahead and paint these guys iron. Okay, what we're gonna do is to make them pop bracers and make them pop a little bit more, and then we'll come back and touch them up. Let's come over here down the silver paint corner. Okay. Just lightly paint over those plates there. Yeah, so this guy's like a chainmail tank, except he's got no shoes. I mean, he's got nothing covering his legs, his calves and such. Don't need a whole lot of paint for this. Just let's make sure we give the impression that there's metal stuff over there. Okay, let's go ahead and do the axe as well, since the axe is going to be metallic. The head, anyways. Where did I put it at? There it is. And of course this acorn-like helmet. I heard it called that one time, an acorn helmet. You know, I keep putting tiny little bits of paint. I'm afraid I'm going to need more than that here to work with. There we go. And I've got Vallejo metallics as well, but they seem to be a lot more gummy. They don't flow really well. Okay. So we're going to come back after the fact and give him some Nuln Oil, and then we'll paint some of the highlighted areas a little bit more and add more depth to that. Okay. All right. So he's done. As far as that goes, we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and do the axe handle next. Let's go ahead and do the axe handle and make sure that we don't have any questions or comments to respond to, and I don't. So anyhow, yeah, for those of you joining along, hopefully you're doing some painting as well. And okay, let's do we still have some of that brown that's alive? Not really. Let's go ahead and put some more of that brown down. Good old chocolate brown. And let's go ahead and use this guy here as the mixer in. So again, let's oh, you know what I did? I ended up using black as the mixer last time. All right, we'll do that. We use this brown for the belt and stuff. All right. It gives it kind of a grayish look, and I kind of like that. Do a little more. Okay, let's just paint the whole axe shaft this color. Okay, that's the base color. And then let's add a little bit more. Okay, and let's just go up to this here. All right, and then we're going to add a little bit of white to this. Okay. And this white just like died all of a sudden. Let's bring this thing back to life. Okay, Joe. I didn't know you were following along this whole time. Yeah, we'll catch you next time. Maybe see you in a few days, even. Okay. Just add a little bit of white and just put some details on here, almost like it looks some wood grain looking stuff. I like the wood grain looking things on the figures. It I enjoy doing it. Okay. Now, we're done with that part. Ah, you can't even see. The lighting here is terrible for some. Well, it's not for me, but it is to. Yeah, that looks terrible. This just doesn't really do it justice. But anyhow, suffice to say that, come on, let's pinch out. I don't know why it's so difficult to zoom back out after I zoom in. There we go. All right, so all right, we're done with that portion. So let's go ahead and do the belt. Now we're going to want a color that is going to pop a little bit because this guy's looking kind of drab because he's all either metallic or flesh colored, and then there's an axe handle. So that's it. So let's pick a color here for his belt and such. Let's take a look and see what this mahogany brown might be the one for us. I think we need to kick it up a bit here. No, a little too light. We'll just go ahead and use this brown like I'd planned. Okay, we'll plan on using that, and we're going to dial that in a couple different directions. Okay, so we're not going to come to the real color probably. You might even highlight it with with some of this color instead of the white. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take some of this brown and put it out here. And we need to darken it. So we can do our shade color. We're going to paint everything belt related in that color. Belt related or scabbard related as well. Okay. Same thing with the scabbard here. We're going to paint the whole scabbard. And then we're going to lighten it up some here. Let's tighten this up a little bit. All right. All right, and we're going to do this one, and we're going to come in with some of this color here. We're brightening it up a little bit, and we're not washing out at the same time. Okay. And now, after we're done with that, now we can add a little bit of white to it. A little bit higher. Okay, now we can go ahead and do those bronze things, because I think the bronze that we had active over here still is active. And is this it right here? That's it. All right. And we'll go ahead and handle the, I've been using like a gray color, I think, throughout. So we're probably going to keep that going. That up. Okay. Now all we got to do now is his mustache and his shoes, and this guy's complete. So, all right, mustache. Let's we're gonna make this guy blonde as well. We need to add some color that's not normally there. So let's go ahead and get this brown color, and first put that down. And then let's go ahead and you know what? We could just do. Oh no, it's gonna look too similar to the flesh that's right underneath it. Let's get us some yellow. Do we still have some floating around here? No. Over here. So, right, this here. All right. Add a little bit of this yellow here. Just a little bit on here to get it to pop. Okay. There's this happy little guy. Let's give him some shoes and he's good to go. Now, what color shoes did we use? We used black, gray. Let's not do black. Let's do something that has a little bit more color in it. Let's get this type of a color over here. This khaki. Actually, don't I have like a Russian brown or something? Yeah, let's use the Russian brown. There's a little bit of a green tinge to it. This is the one that got the spill here is Russian brown. This spill right there. So I don't think it's the second time I've had a spill, and I hadn't had a spill in probably every bit of maybe 15 years. Last time I had it was with yellow paint. It was like, come out, come out, come out. When it did, it squirted everywhere. So, yeah, I really don't really make much of a mess. And honestly, was other than wasting half a bottle of this stuff, it didn't get on anything. So, let's get this open. It's a green tinge to it, but they aren't going to look green. And we'll put this guy back. Now, one thing we're going to do is Let's try. Let's try. Where is the super dark brown? This SS camouflage brown is what I believe what it's called. It is. I believe it's this bottle right here. Yep. SS camouflage black. So let's use that as the base. Right here. And we have our green. We're going to grab this base color, move it over here, and let's add some green to it. And let's go ahead and paint the shoes. All right, let's light them up with some of this green here. And let's bring them up a tiny tad with some white. And now we're going to give this guy the same treatment with a Nuln oil. And then he's complete. Okay. Let's come over here to the Nuln oil. Okay, and we're going to put the axe, the helmet, these bracers, this helmet, bracers over on this side. Okay. And this guy's complete until in the morning. Blammo. Done. Yeah. I need to go check up on something, and I will be right back. And I might as well get a water refill while I'm at it. Okay, we're back with some water here. All right. So, we got this guy completed, and let's just roll right into the next guy. This will be the 6th figure. So when he's complete, that will be half of the blades will be done. So that's cool. Hell, at this pace, maybe by the end of the weekend, they'll all be completed. It may not be based or anything. I think that's a little too ambitious, but yeah, it's hard to see exactly how they're going to turn out because I need to put the I need to paint after the Nuln Oil on there. You don't have to do the Nuln Oil step, but the thing is that it adds a little bit of depth to it. So okay, so we interesting. This guy's got some cloth on him, and he's just wearing like a dickie, but he's got a chainmail dickie, but he's got hose on, and the guy that's fully chainmailed has yeah, barren leg showing. So okay, the other one. So let's do a couple things. This guy has. Here we go. Here is the metallic color. So let's go ahead and do that, and go ahead and do the helmet while I'm thinking about it. So we're going to paint all this stuff right here. Same thing with it on this side. That thunder right here. Figures, like I said, it's been raining every freaking day for probably a month, and thunderstorms too, not just regular rain, but thunderstorms. So all right, that should suffice to take care of those things. All right, let's go ahead and do the flesh on this dude. And make sure we got nothing else. Hello, Kevin. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing better. Let's see, it's almost 7 there out in Arizona. Hey, I bet you could use some of this rain that we've gotten for a month straight. Although I have a feeling that when it rains there, it rains like a bunch as well. So probably a land of extremes. So, full lawn, you know, with it raining every single day. So, okay, let's go ahead and do the this and a little bit of the black, and all right, and let's go ahead and paint some of these the fingers and such. There it is. Rolling Thunder. Kind of late. Usually the thunderstorms roll in here between 2 and last through like 5 or something like that. Pretty consistently. It's very rare you'll wake up in the morning and it's time to go to work and there's a thunderstorm at that time, or even rain. It's always almost always in the afternoon. Kevin says you can send it here, the rain that is. And if I had that kind of power, if it was up to me, it would never be. Well, there'd be a lot more days when it would be between the 30s and the 50s. That's for sure. In Florida, because it means we get beautiful skies and we don't get any snow or anything like that at all. But I like the cold weather. I like the cold weather here. I don't want some other form of thing that I have to shovel. So I'm not interested in any kind of that white precipitation. But yeah, the weather here in the wintertime is awesome. All 2 weeks of it. All right, so I almost forgot this guy has barren legs. He's got barren calves. Okay, for black, this one can probably switch to this here. Man, this stuff is drying up fast. It's like creating like a, I don't know why. It can't be just a little bit of, and this is plenty moist on the back side. Oh well. No, I got a little ahead of myself. Let's go back. Let's go back one step to about here. just one rogue thunder thing? No more? Okay, so that shade's done with. Let's go ahead and add more sunny skin tone to it and move forward. Man, this just dried up so freaking quick. I don't need much, just a little drop here. There we go. Don't need much. Now, you can see I'm already getting taken over by all these paints, that are laying up here. Happens every time. Happens every time. Okay, that should be about right. Well, all right. Make sure we don't have anything pending here. Okay, so Kevin says, doing any cavalry soon. So, I don't know if you caught what I've been talking about the last couple days, but when I decided to make these guys, I already had all the foot troops for them. I didn't have any of the light horse. So I placed an order with a company I'd never done business with before. And about a week after ordering them, I believe it was on the 3rd of August. So about a week later, I'm like, hey, you guys, just want to make sure you guys got my order. You guys send notifications? They're like, yeah, we got your order, but your email seemed to bounce. And, but just to let you know that we're really busy. We got like one guy doing the casting, and people have told us it takes 2 to 8 weeks to receive the parcel. So, which I want to get here because I want to do an unboxing on the figure manufacturer. And, but they make the right figures that I found that I was happy with to use for the Irish cavalry. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 packs of cavalry coming, 24 figures. Okay. So we'll do an unboxing of them when they arrive. But I still haven't received notice that they've been mailed. So I'm not really concerned, as I got lots of stuff to do, but after these blade guys, I'm probably going to paint the Scots contingent, which is 2 stands of pike and the Knight General. But the Irish Warlord General, which is the light horse, will have to wait until those guys come in. I mean, I don't know. I didn't realize it would have taken this long to send them out. Maybe they were already out and they forgot to message me. I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to touch base with them tomorrow and see if they can kind of give me an update. But I don't mind painting some foot figures because the last project I just got done, the carriage, I finished with the mounted, and I did a lot of mounted there towards the end. So I'm okay painting some foot figures. I don't mind painting horses. But yeah, they're coming. I just don't know when they're going to arrive. So I just looked around and I wanted figures that had a certain look. And these guys just gotten the Essex guys, but the Essex guys just didn't really fit the role. A lot of the Essex figures, they put shields on them just to put something on there, even though they don't really need to have them on there, and that kind of throws me off. So I think the guys that were the most Irish looking of the cavalry had big, reasonably large sized shields, and they weren't bearded or anything like that. So man, I'm yawning. Looks like it's almost getting to be shut-eye time for me. Of course, it just hit 9 o'clock, but I've been up for a while. But let's see if we can't power through at least the flesh and knock out the flesh on this guy, even if we have to finish up the other things in the morning. Because I'm over 2 hours so far, so yeah, it's been nice to kind of paint every day this week. So. But there are mounted coming. So after these guys are done, if the Irish mounted hasn't showed up, then I will probably and because it's going to be like the only heraldry these guys are going to have is that knight general stand. So it's going to be Edward the Bruce and a couple of his knights that followed him into Ireland. That's what it's supposed to represent. And yeah, I always like doing heraldry. Let's do this here. Yep. We're about to be under bombardment. Okay, a little bit of trimming here, and then we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Because we don't want all these distractions and stuff. What's going on? So we finished up one of these guys, painted a whole other figure, and we're on our way to finishing this guy. So I should have like a half hour or so to be able to paint tomorrow morning on my own before work, and I should be able to get this guy done, I'm figuring. So anyhow, thanks for joining along, and we'll catch you guys next time. We'll certainly be doing more of these over the weekend. At least that's the plan. So we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for joining me. Happy painting to you guys.